Lesson 1.9, Problem Solving. Problem solving. The essential question today is, how can you use this strategy, solve a simpler problem to help you solve a division problem? Unlocking the problem. Mark works at an animal shelter. To feed 9 dogs, Mark empties 8 18-ounce cans of dog food into a large bowl. If he divides the food equally among the dogs, how many ounces of food will each dog get? So we're going to use the graphic organizer below to help us solve it. So first of all, what do I need to know? So this goes with the coding that we were talking about. We want to know, the question says, how many ounces? I need to use the number of cans of food, the number of ounces in each can, and the number of dogs that I need to be fed. How will I use the information? I can multiply to find the total number of ounces. Then I can solve a simpler problem to divide that total by 9, since there are 9 dogs. So first, I multiply to find the total number of ounces in the dog food. So I have 8 cans, and I have 18 ounces. So to find out how many ounces there are, I'm going to multiply 18 times 8. And 18 times 8 is 144. To find the number of ounces each dog will get, I need to divide that 144 ounces by how many dogs there are, and there are 9 dogs. To find the quotient, I break the 144 into 2 simpler numbers that are easier to divide. So 144, well, I can divide it by 90. 90 plus what equals 144? Well, 90 plus 54 is 144. And I know that 9 can go into 90 fairly equally, and I know that 9 can go into 54 pretty easily. So by dividing 9 times 90 plus 54 divided by 9, then and if I add those two quotients together, then I'm going to get the whole quotient of what the answer is. Well, 9 divided by 90 is 10, and 9 divided by 54 is 6. So I have 6 plus 10, which is 16. So 144 divided by 9 is 16. Let's try another problem. Okay, Michelle is building a shelf for her room. She has a plank of 137 inches long that she wants to cut into 7 shelves of equal length. The plank has jagged ends, so she will start by cutting 2 inches off the end. How long will the shelf be? Well, first of all, I need to find out. So the first thing I need to find is the length of each of the 7 equal shelves, because the question is, how long will each shelf be? What information do I need to use? What information do I need to use? I need to know the amount of wood to cut off on each end. I need to know the number of shelves, and I need to know the length of the plank before it's cut. So how will I use the information? Well, first I'm going to subtract the 2 inches. I'm going to subtract the 2 inches from each of the planks, and I'm going to see what the length of the remaining piece is and see if I can divide it by 7. If it's not easy, I'm going to divide it into 2 numbers that are easily to divide by 7. Once I do that, I'm going to break it into 2 numbers and divide those 2 parts by 7. And then I'm going to add the partial quotients. So when I'm solving the problem, I have 137. I have 137 divided by 7. Well, 137 doesn't go very nicely. I can't just put 7 into it easily. So if I take this 137 and I break it up into 2 parts, I know that 70 goes into 7 10 times. So that's a pretty easy one. So if I do 70, and then what's left over after I do 70? Well, 70 plus 63 is 137. So I could say 70 plus 63 is the same thing as 137 divided by 7. So if I'm doing this now, I'm going to have 70 divided by 7 plus 63 divided by 7. Well, 70 divided by 7, I already said, is 10. And then I bring down my plus sign. And 63 divided by 7 is 9. So 10 plus 9 is 19. Therefore, 137 divided by 7 equals 19. To make concrete mix, Monica pours 34 pounds of cement, 68 pounds of sand, 14 pounds of small pebbles, and 19 pounds of large pebbles into a wheelbarrow. If she pours the mixture into 9 equal-sized bags, how much will each bag weigh? First, we have to find the total weight of the mixture. So, the total weight of the mixture, I'm going to look. 34 pounds, 68 pounds, 14 pounds, and 19 pounds. I'm going to need to add all of those up in order to find out the total pounds. I'm going to have 34 plus 68 plus 14 plus 19, okay? When I add that all up, you can actually show your work here. You can do 34 plus 68 plus 14 plus 19. You can also do just 2 of the amounts together if you want, and then do the other 2 amounts, and then add those 2 answers. But I can do 9 plus 4 plus 8 plus 4. 4 and 4 is 8. 8 plus 8 is 16. And then plus 16 plus 9 is 25. So I'm going to carry my 2. I'm going to put my 5 here. So I have 2 plus 3 is 5. 5 and 6 is 11. 12, 13. So I have 135. So I know that my total pounds was 135 pounds. And I need to pour the mixture equally into 9 size bags. How much will each bag weigh? So I need to take the 135 and I need to divide it by the 9. 9 doesn't go into 135 equally. So what I can do is I can take this 135 and I can break it into 2 numbers that I know 9 could go into. I always look for the groups of 10. So 10 goes into 9 90 times. So if I'm going to break 135 into 2 equal parts and one of them is going to be 90, I'm going to have left over 45. So that means I'm going to have 9 divided by 90 and 9 divided by 45. Same equal parts. Again, 90 and 45 makes the 135. That's where I got the 90 and the 45 from. Okay, and I'm going to add those, the answer I get together. So 9 divided by 90 is 9. Or I'm sorry, is 10. Plus, because there's my plus sign, 45 divided by 9. 45 goes into 9 5 times. 10 plus 5 is 15. So 9 goes into 135 15 times. So each bag will weigh 15. So what if Monica pours the mixture into 5 equal-sized bags instead of 9? How much will each bag weigh? So again, I've got to go back to, I had 135 pounds, and this time they're going to go into 5 equal bags. Well, 5 goes into 135 pretty equally because we know it ends in 5, and 5's always going equally with 0 or 5 at the end, right? So now I just need to figure out how many times does it go in. So you could break 135 into 2 smaller parts, or you could do 5 goes into 1, it doesn't, right? 5 can go into 13, I have to move over, 2 times, and 2 times 5 is 10. I'm going to subtract 3 from 0 is 3, and 1 from 1 is 0. Then I'm going to bring down my 5. 5 goes into 35 7 times. Again, 7 times 5 is 35. I'm going to subtract, and I get nothing left over. So the answer is 27. So each bag would weigh 27 pounds. Remember to always do your labels, pounds. Number 3, Taylor is building a doghouse to sell. Each doghouse requires 3 full sheets of plywood, which Taylor cuts into new shapes. The plywood is shipped in bundles of 14 sheets. How many doghouses can Taylor make from 12 bundles of plywood? Okay, so first of all, I need to find out how many full sheets she's going to have. So it's shipped in bundles, and each bundle, right, it's shipped in bundles, each bundle has 14 sheets. And if I've got 12 bundles at 14 sheets, I can do a multiplication. I know 12 times 14. So 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 1 4 times 1 is 4. Now I'm moving over and I'm going to multiply times the tens position, and and I have to put a space saver or a 0 there because I'm moving over place value. I'm really saying 10 times. So 1 times 2, or 10 times 2, is 20, right? So there's my 20. 1 times 1 is 1. And so I'm going to add, again, that's more like the 10. I have 8 plus 0 is 8. 4 plus 2 is 6. And 1 plus nothing is 1. So I get 168. Well, that's how many sheets I'm going to have total. And it requires 3 full sheets of plywood, right? Because that's what it said here. 3 full sheets of plywood to cut into the new shape. So I can take that 3 and I need to divide it into 168. Now I can do straight division, or I can try and break 168 up into something I know into 2 parts like we did in the other lesson. But right now I'm just going to divide it straight out. But again, I could break it up into 2 equal parts. That would be a lot easier to work with. So 3 can't go into 1, but 3 can go into 16. 3 goes into 16 5 times, because 3 times 5 is 15. I'm going to subtract it, and I have 16 minus 15, which is 1. I bring down my 8, so I have 3 going into 18. 3 times 6, so 3 times 6 is 18. So I have nothing left over, so my answer is 56. So I would have 56 doghouses. Number 4. Eileen is planting a garden. She has seeds for 60 tomato plants, 55 sweet corn plants, and 21 cucumber plants. She plants them in 8 rows with the same number of plants in each row. How many seeds are planted in each row? Well, before I can find out how many seeds are planted in each row, I need to know how many plants there are. So I have 60 tomato plants, 55 sweet corn plants, and 21 cucumber plants. So I need to add those up to find out how many plants I have in all. 5 plus 1 is 6. 5 plus 6 is 11. Plus 2 is 13. So I have 136 plants. And I'm going to be planting them. I want to know how many is going to go in each row. And I'm planting 8 per row. So if I'm planting 8 of them per row and I have 136, I need to divide them. Now, again, I can break up the 136 into 2 numbers that it can go into equally, or I can simply divide out. So I'm going to simply just divide out for this one. 8 goes into 13. 8 can't go into 1, but it can go into 13. 8 goes into 13 one time. And when I subtract, I can't take 8 from 3, so I borrow and I make that 13, making the 0 gone. Just regrouping there. 8 subtracted 13 is 5. And then I'm going to bring down my 6. And 8 goes into 56 7 times. So 7 times 8 is 56 with a remainder of 0. So I get 17 plants in each of the rows. What you're going to do next is you're going to do the on your own problems together with a partner, and then we're going to discuss them.